Social media expert Sthembiso Sithole to talk more on several hashtag campaigns used by the students across the country. Thanks for joining us, Te.
Thank you for inviting me, Tabile.
So let's look at these hashtags and their evolution throughout the protests. I mean, we started with just Wits Fees Must Fall.
Yes.
It became UCT Fees Must Fall. And now there's also a new one, Protest and Pass.
Yeah.
Take us through that.
Yeah, well, I must say social media played a huge role when it comes to this protest. As we all know that students were dominating, were in the forefront using social media before any media house. And the first hashtag that you mentioned was Vets Fees Must Fall, of which that hashtag was mainly used to simply say we want the fees to go down and no increases of fees. And that led to most students being aware of that. And that led to, of course, to the Vets fees will fall. And later on in the weekend, we saw some students saying Vets fees have fallen, of which they haven't, but there was that confusion. But students were in the forefront, and of which that translated to this, today's main hashtag, which was National Shutdown, where we saw different students from different universities coming on board to simply say, you know what, we are using this hashtag to express our views and to simply saying we don't want any fees to be increased.
How big a role has social media played in these protests?
Social media played a huge role. For an example, I was at VETS last week and this week, and the students, they were using social media first, like at 3 a.m. Most of the journalists were at home asleep, but they use social media to simply saying, this is what we want. They use Vine, they use YouTube, they use Instagram, they use Twitter and Facebook. And what was interesting was that they were walking door to door in the different residents and taking videos and sending to different media houses to alert those journalists. Some of the journalists woke up in the morning, in the middle of the night to go there. So you realize that social media played a huge role. And also, what we also discovered was that we had a lot of parents who, of course, had there were strikes at UCT, and they called their kids, using WhatsApp to simply saying, you know what, my child, be safe, I'm behind you. And that's social media. And we saw some parents who say, during 1976, we're fighting, in 1976, we're fighting for education, but now we can't be with you there. But guess what? We'll use the same hashtags to support you. So we've seen some parents simply saying, you know what, I've been working for this university for 15 years. I would like to see my kids going there. I only earn 5,000 Rand, but I'm going to use this hashtag to express my views and for the media to be aware of that.
Stay, you've just mentioned that the students, were taking videos, posting them on YouTube and even sending to journalists. Would you say that this is an indication of the shift that media and journalism is taking? Because in a sense, then journalists are now biting what the students are sending them, because it means the students have dibs on what's happening, or social media is the actual newsbreaker in a sense.
Yeah, the nice thing that social media, what it has done, social media, is that people who used to sit and watch us on TV, things have changed. They're participating in what is happening. They are giving us information. They are citizen journalists, active ones. And for an example, some of the clips that the SABC used and other media houses on YouTube, on Twitter, were from students. So you realize there's that relationship. Of course, at the end of the day, they want a broader media coverage, but they use social media to simply say, guys, this is what's happening, and we are leading with 1, 2, 3. If you're interested to come on board to actually see what we are doing as students.
Now, let's take a look at the influential social media accounts that have dominated throughout the protest.
Well, different social media accounts used. For an example, the one that I was using at Sthole Express, where I was at VETS, using Vines, because with social media, you don't want to just be tweeting, text. You want to do videos so people can feel that, I'm involved. The SABC News Online, of course, the Mail and Guardian, and the AMG Reporter, which those reporters using the Mail and Guardian account were there in the forefront at the Daily Vox Pops, and we saw Neo Mutaung from the SABC using those accounts. So those were different social media accounts which were used to make sure that everybody knows about what's happening in the country. And what's interesting is that there are people who are abroad, they followed on social media. And I saw a tweet on my own way here, one student saying, I studied in South Africa for the past 15 years. I'm abroad now, and I'm so heartbroken to see what's happening. But at the same time, I might not be there with you guys, but I'm with you utilizing social media. And that, to me, it's very important.
Maybe just one more question before we wrap up, because we're running out of time. How important is clout in this instance? And I'm talking about clout with a K.
Yeah.
The amount of influence that people have in order to drive this. Because clout is basically not based on the number of followers you have, but it's based on the kinds of people that follow you, the kinds of accounts you follow, but also the conversations that you generate as a user on social media.
Yeah, I think what is important is the message that you're sending, and at the same time, you can have many followers, but then you're giving them the information which is relevant. One can have 20 followers, and those followers which are interested in that topic, and they feel that, you know, we are feeding them, because you get a lot of people who have a lot of social media, followers, but they are not feeding them. Like social media is one platform where it's like you're feeding your stomach. You need to feed it constantly, and then what drives is the content that you provide and the interest that people have and how it reaches many people.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have to leave it there.
Thank you.
Time now for a quick break.
We'll have more news after this.